Welcome to Bridal Extravaganza TV. On this episode of Vendor Vault, we are so excited to have David Stanley from DC Stanley Photography visiting us here at the studio. Well, thank you so much, David, for coming on today.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
All right, so how long have you been photographing weddings?
I've been photographing weddings for 8 years now.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're coming up, I guess, on our 9th year in September.
All right, so what's your favorite part of working with a couple on their big day?
My favorite part? That's a good question. There's lots of favorite parts, so pinning it down to one would be tough, but getting to know the couple, getting to know the family, and really getting to experience that whole process is just really fun. And I love being able to meet with people and kind of hear the backstories that come from the toasts and all that fun stuff.
So what makes DC Stanley Photography stand out to Houston brides?
Fortunately we're able to corner our design market, and I think people really appreciate the fact that we have a background in graphic design, which I think plays really well into being able to compose the images that people are looking for. So being able to pose the couple, because typically our bride and groom aren't models coming from GQ magazine or something. They're normal people that work and don't study this for a living, so they really depend on us and the feedback and how to properly pose and get that very tasteful and loving image that hangs on the wall for their lifetime.
What can a couple do to help you get the best pictures possible?
Just listen to me.
Okay.
Follow direction now. Some people are better at following directions than others, and so you just have to find more creative, as a photographer, you have to find more creative ways to relay what you're trying to get them to do across. So, but that's why people come to us, is because we're the professionals and we take care of all that.
What's your photography style?
I wouldn't say there's necessarily a style. I think more a romantic style is something that people see that makes us very unique, but we certainly grasp a lot of different styles. Like the photojournalist would come into a production, they would want to be able to capture something from the beginning to the end, so we bring that in. Having that posing techniques that I was talking about earlier to make those romantic looking images gives you more of a fine art look. So I would say we have kind of a combination of multiple styles.
What is your most unique or favorite wedding you've ever photographed?
Okay, so I'll start with the unique and then I'll get to the favorite.
Okay.
I think unique, always the South Asian weddings are very unique. They have 400 to 600 people. The groom rides up on an elephant. You never know what kind of reactions you're going to get from family members, and they just like to party. So those are always the most unique and colorful and beautiful. My favorite, probably destination weddings, just because you get to experience new locations and you get to always mix things up. So I don't like to get too complacent with going to the same venue or going to the same location all the time. So that really gives you that nice mix.
What trends are really popular right now in wedding photography?
I think the one trend that's been really popular is having that kind of vintage, natural light look, and not to say that that's going out, but I think some of our brides and grooms are starting to come back into more of the classic look. There's always a few that like to mix things up and have, let's say like a vintage Roaring 20s kind of look, but then some want more like a vintage, more organic look where it's like 70s, 80s, more hipster style. So I think it just depends on the couple, and I think they're all going to have their own unique spin to weddings, but I would say trending this way is the more classic look.
Okay. So what's your biggest piece of advice for couples looking to hire a wedding photographer?
I think the biggest piece of advice I'd have is to completely know what you're getting yourself into with that photographer. Meet with them in person, find out what makes them unique. Go to the location where they are and know that they have a roof over their head. They're not just a fly-by-night, and you're not going to end up with some random person that you can't get a hold of for your images. It's really important, I think, to fully understand their background.
Well, thank you so much for sitting down with us.
My pleasure.
If a couple wants more information about your company, what's your website?
So our website is dcstanleyphotography.com. Everything's there. We have, instead of showcasing just a portfolio of our favorite images, what we try to do is list venues around Houston and maybe a few destination weddings, just to let people know that those exist. But give those venues and those couples a chance to shine with 50 to 100 images from their wedding instead of just a favorite image from this wedding and a favorite image from that wedding. So browse the weddings gallery, browse the bridals gallery, browse the engagement gallery, and really try to come in with something unique for us to be able to capture that.